Aloha from the Father Bray Athletic Center on the campus of Iolani School in Honolulu, Hawaii. And welcome to the Iolani Prep Classic presented by the Twin Fin. We're getting set for our first matchup of the day between the Maryknoll Spartans and the Leilehua Mules. Hello everybody, I'm Ian Young alongside Wes Nakama. The dust has settled, the mainland teams have moved on, including Iolani with that group. And what we have left is a terrific pool play matchup between the top teams in Hawaii. Wes, what do you think we have in store for today?
Well, I watched Leilehua play Friday night, and they had a tremendous game against Mount St. Joseph. I mean, the score, is not reflective. I think they lost 81-51. But I tell you what, in the first half, they came back. They were down 10-3 early. They came back, cut it under 10 at some points. It was only 24-14 after the first quarter. They made, I thought, a great showing. And they've already knocked off Punahou, so they can compete with the ILH teams. Here's another test for them against Maryknoll.
Yeah, terrific matchup here today. The Maryknoll Spartans, the #1 ranked team in the state of Hawaii, according to the Scoring Live power rankings. You mentioned that Leilehua Mule opening matchup. Zelston Militante led scoring with 13 points, 11 of those in the first half. So got some great players to watch this morning. We're going to send it over to Mo Maggiolino for the starting lineups.
Aloha basketball fans and welcome to the Father Kenneth A. Bray Athletic Center here on the campus of Iolani School for the 2022 Iolani Prep Basketball Classic. Game number 9 features the Leilehua Mules from Leilehua, Hawaii, as well as the Maryknoll Spartans from Honolulu, Hawaii. Please remember that sportsmanship is important not only for our athletes and officials, but also for our spectators. We ask that you enjoy the game and respect the dignity of the sport by cheering for your team's success and applauding great plays. Please avoid all instances of poor sportsmanship, and also for the safety of our student athletes, flash photography is not permitted at any time during gameplay. Mahalo for your cooperation. Let's meet the starting lineups. First, for the Spartans of Maryknoll. Starting at guard, number 3, Hunter Maryknoll. Also at guard, number 12, Zion Ariz. At forward, number 14, Micah Kubo. At guard, number 21, Justin Yap. And at forward, number 44, Rome Leo. Your head coach for the Spartans, Coach Kelly Grant. And now, from Wahiawa, Hawaii, the Mules of Leilehua. Starting at guard, number 1, Zelston Militante. Number 2, at guard, Twain Wilson. Also at guard, number 10, Ashton Martinson. At the wing, number 20, Kule Atureval. And number 21, Willie Cooper. Your head coach for the Mules, Chad Townsend.
Just about set to get underway here. Leilehua Mules versus the Maryknoll Spartans in our day games at the Iolani Classic presented by the Twin Fin. Following this game, Moanalua Na Menehune will take on the Punahou Buff and Blue. That game to set the tip-off at 10:30. followed by Radford and Kamehameha schools, and then Baldwin and St. Louis. Great Hawaii basketball this morning. Tip is won by Leilehua and controlled by Milare. Great look inside, and Leilehua able to finish over 2 mule defenders.
As a coach, that's what you want to see. Your first possession, the play executed perfectly.
Yep, drawn up to perfection. Great start here for the Spartans. And the Spartans bringing the intensity, even though it's the early game in the morning. Leilehua being patient, working around. We do have a shot clock in this tournament. And Militante, great start as well with the sweet J. Ball inside, blocked by Militante. Out of bounds to Maryknoll.
That's a great sign for Leilehua too. The Militante nailing his first jumper. He's got that slashing threat. Now he's got that outside threat as well.
Yep, on the inbounds. Look inside, tipped away by Cooper, and we're back the other way. Silky smooth drive by Twain Wilson. And there's Justin Yap going coast to coast with his first points of the day.
Leilehua tried to apply full court pressure, but Maryknoll handled it very well.
Yeah, the one-man press breaker, Yap that time. Milante short on the shot. Good contest that time by Leilehua, coming out to challenge the shot. Mules picking up full court, sends the double. Pass over top. And the strong take that time by Milare, draws the foul. Foul assessed to Willie Cooper, his first, shooting 2 shots.
We mentioned Maryknoll handling the pressure. That's by design. You could tell everybody knew exactly where they needed to be and where to look for the open man. Coach Kelly Grant, again, always well prepared.
Yeah, Kelly Grant coach team ready for anything the other team will throw at them. As Milare missed the second of 2. Mules back the other way, corner 3, that time is good. Martinson rattles it in. And we have a 2-point ball game early. Sorry, go ahead, Wes. Milante called for the foul.
No, again, that's a great sign for Leilehua that their outside shot is falling early.
Poked away, out to Militante. Layup no good, back the other way. And Milare again shows the ability to draw the foul, getting 2 shots back to the line.
Again, the best way to beat pressure is to, score on the transition,
right.
which Maryknoll is doing.
Get it out quick, right, before the press can set up.
A lot of times when you do that, all of a sudden the pressure disappears, and they respect your speed and your ability to go down court.
Yeah. Then the press is called off, right? You got to just show the aggressiveness early, which is what the Spartans have been doing. Milare again makes 1 of 2. Another corner 3, this time no good by Wilson. Back the other way. Kick out. Milare. Back to Justin Yap. They'll set up. So look for something good. Active hands by the Mules. On the cross court, Kubo no good on the pump fake and pull up. Blocked by Leo, back the other way. Milare with the take and the finish to put the Spartans up by 1. Active hands results in the Spartan recovery. Back the other way. No good on the layup, but Marumoto was fouled on the drive. Aggressiveness by the Spartans early.
Yeah, and you're hoping that that's one of the things Leilehua would learn from Friday night is taking care of the basketball. I know the speed of the game is a lot higher when you're facing some of these mainland powerhouses. They made a bunch of turnovers, but that's what this is for. This is so you learn how to take care of the ball. But Vernon is applying the same kind of pressure that Mount St. Joseph did.
That's right. Talking to Dean Shimamoto the other day, and he mentioned part of the learning process is building this confidence. If you can break a press from Montverde, right, you can break a press from anybody. Mules patiently working the ball around. Volante looks in the post, and the foul will be called on the post entry. Foul assessed to Kaniala into the game.
That's something Leilehua was trying to do on Friday against Mount St. Joseph, was establish their 6'6" post Ui Muti. Good-looking kid, 6'6", with a football-type body.
Yeah.
If he can establish himself under the post, that's another dynamic.
Muti only a sophomore at 6'6". Bright future for these Mules. Just past the outstretched hands of Muti. Good look on the play, but unable to recover, and the ball will go the other way to the Spartans. 2-0 Spartans. 3 minutes, 49 seconds left in this opening quarter. Justin Yap, top scorer for the Spartans, also brings the ball down. Finds Wu, who's no good on the 3. Back the other way. Quickly. And the 3-point shot is off. But recovered by the Mules. Wilson looking to create. Turnover. Look inside, beautiful look inside that time. And Wu with the conversion to put the Spartans up by 4.
Maryknoll showing they can score out of the half-court set, too. It's been mostly transition baskets and free throws so far.
Yep. Maryknoll successful both in the transition and in the half-court set and on the defensive end, that time drawing the charge.
There you see Muti's inexperience there. I mean, I like the idea. He tried to attack the basket, but Maryknoll drawing the charge, and he knew it as soon as he made the contact. He kind of turned around and just flipped the ball up, expecting the whistle, which did come.
Yeah, Milari that time with excellent anticipation, drawing the charge. Big pick that time by Wu. Kick out to Yap. Beautiful string music by Yap, and a timeout is called by the Mules to slow this Spartan team down.
Yeah, Maryknoll again showing us a little bit of everything. They again handled the pressure very well, attacked the basket in the transition, and even when Leilehua did get back, they were able to get into their half-court set and execute their offense, finding the open look.
Yeah, Coach Townsend talking to his Mules about that very thing. So Wes, you are an 86 grad alumni here at Iolani. So you were here from the inception of this tournament.
Yes, I remember. I was playing JV basketball. We had a tournament at Moanalua, I think, that same weekend, but we got to catch one of the early games. This Diamond Head side wall used to be open. There was a stage there. And we'd all get on the stage and get a front row seat to West Philadelphia.
Wow.
Was the team highlighted in that first tournament, and boy, did they put on a show just in warm-ups.
Yeah, the inaugural team from West Philly. The Speed Boys, right, and the first champion. As we see the Mules out of that timeout answer and to cut that Spartan run. Back the other way quickly, Malari able to draw the foul.
We talked about Muti establishing himself in the post. That time he did, and he showed a nice touch from about 8 feet. Nice drop. You see the potential in this kid. He's only a sophomore, as you mentioned.
Yeah, great size, great hands. As we see Yap on the beautiful flex cut. Yap leads all scores with 7 early in this first quarter. Baseline drive, beautiful with the finger roll layup by Mitchell. Cutting the lead to 5. Malari really pushing the envelope, and the kick out no good. Mules back the other way. This Mule bench providing a spark as the corner shot is no good, and quickly back the other way. Malari with the left, no good. Recovery, Leo. No call on the contact.
Good job by Leilehua getting back on defense that time, though.
Yep. Good job getting back, stopping the transition, and in the scramble, able to stop the Spartans. 36.3 seconds left on the clock. It's about 1 second differential on the shot clock. Kolo Kapua into the game. Spartans will look to hold for one shot, which will leave the Mules with not that much time, even if they get it. And yeah, beautifully hits the pull-up jumper. He's a cool customer with a great stroke. And that's the way to close out the quarter. Put the Spartans up by 7. 18-11, Spartans over the Mules. And we'll be back after this short message. And we're back to the Iolani Classic presented by the Twin Fin. Round 2, day 3 of the Iolani Classic. This morning features matchups between the teams that lost on the opening night. It is all the Hawaii teams. And the matchups, interestingly, will pit an ILH school against an OIA school, with the exception of Baldwin. And Baldwin will match up with the ILH schools as well. I think the thinking in that is to not have the ILH teams match up against each other as they're preparing for their season, and same with the OIA schools. as Wilson with the nice, Cooper with the nice putback. 6'2" senior forward center. Cuts the lead to 5. Look inside to Leo with the hanging body control finish at the rim.
Beautiful entry pass there. No look from about 25 feet away.
We were having the conversation that the entry pass actually to a big man is actually somewhat of a lost art. I mean, most teams nowadays will look to kick and get it out to the three-point shooters. It's nice to see that inside look. Mules recover, bring it back the other way. Will look to set things up. Militante quiet so far in this first half. He only has 2. Just scoring 11 in that opening half, night 1. And yeah, almost converts the opportunity to get a three-point play on the lefty layup. He's fouled. He'll get 2 shots.
Yeah, that's one thing Militante was doing Friday night was breaking the opposing guard down off the dribble and getting dribble penetration. That's surprising. Usually you see that from the mainland teams doing that to our guys.
That's
but
right.
He was actually doing a great job of breaking his defender off the dribble and finishing high off the glass. He must have had about 3 or 4 of those nice drops high off the glass.
Yeah, the coach for Mount St. Joseph's mentioned that and was very impressed and actually switched the defense at halftime to get the ball out of Militante's hands. Militante kick out. No good by Wilson. Rebound to Kubo. And Maramoto will set things up for the Spartans. Malaria on the handoff. Over to Yap, who's a deadly scorer, but can't convert. And there's Leo, and it's showing his presence on the inside. Yap, too strong. And a good contest by the Mules. Hanging in here, down 9 with 6 minutes left in the second quarter. Skip pass. An entry. And work by Willie Cooper. 4 points in this second quarter.
Nice.
Keeping the Mules in the game. Yep.
Nice turnaround jump right there.
Yes.
That's the thing. Leilehua has good role players. You know, they got Militante and Muti, but everybody else can contribute something.
Leilehua 6-5 on the year thus far. 9 appearances in this Iolani Classic, the last being in 2017.
Checking in for Leilehua, number 15, Shiloh, Cooper.
Yeah, and I believe we had a different coach back then, Chad Townsend, making his first appearance as head coach, and he's, you know, he's got his eyes wide open. He's enjoying every moment of this.
Yeah.
I think he's very appreciative of this opportunity.
Great opportunity for these Mules, as well as all of these Hawaii schools. The look inside to Cooper, and Cooper carrying the Mules. 6 points in the second quarter. The lead is 7. Athletic Director Eddie Moriyama said that they invited all the schools that were participants last year, and last year being the opening up of the Classic, but with certain restrictions still lingering, and certain games were not able to be played. So it's nice to, first of all, have these schools back, you know, this invitation to come back to this Iolani Classic, but also we're seeing this Classic really opened up fully for the first time. Fans invited. We'll have the slam dunk contest tonight after the 8 o'clock game, after a I believe, 3-year hiatus. Alakai slam dunk contest. Tough defense. 8 on the shot clock. Look inside. Wow, and the foul is called as the shot clock is winding down. The bailout that time with the foul.
You see the exasperated look on Coach Kelly Grant's face. You know, you play great defense for 28 seconds and then a foul.
I mean, it is something that's new to these Hawaii schools. We don't play with the shot clock, although that might be in the works in the next few years.
Yeah, it's been talked about for the last 20 years at least. You know, at the athletic director conference, I know federation-wise, we try to follow all the federation rules, and it was never a rule in the federation. But we're seeing it here in the Classic again, and then the teams are adapting pretty well.
For the most part, the shot clock has not been a factor.
Right.
I was here for the Lake Oswego game, and I don't know if it ever got down. It seems to under 20 seconds.
Well, as you know, as the tournament moves along, and then especially in the championship round, and the games get closer, you know, in the first 2 rounds, there's a lot of lopsided scores and whatnot. But when the games get tight and the defenses tighten the screws, that's where you might see the shot clock come into play.
Yeah, that is true. The end game, it will come into play. Mules looking to cut this 7-point lead by the Spartans with 3 minutes and 35 seconds left in this first half. Tuoleva'o works it across. Wilson, the Mules' leading scorer, who's also been quiet tonight. So Spartans doing a good job on Wilson and Militante, containing them. Inside move, and on the elevation, the baby sky hook is no good by Muti.
So I like the idea. You know, they set him up on the high post. He was able to attack the rim. It just didn't fall. But there you see some of the ability he has. I mean, if he works on it over the summer, you could see a much better player next year.
Yeah, you see the footwork. You see the soft touch on the jump hook.
And he's 6'6" now. You know, who knows? He could grow another inch or two in the next couple years.
Yeah. Muti challenges, and Yap comes up short. Tuoleva'o back the other way. Turnover back to the Spartans as we see Leo enter the game, possibly to combat Muti inside.
On that last play, you know, no one's going to get credited with the steal, but that's a result of the pressure defense that Maryknoll's been playing all game long. It affects your passing when you know that somebody's right there with their arms ready.
Yep.
Sometimes you're going to throw it a few inches off target in fear of that steal.
Yeah, hands in the passing lane, making things very difficult for this Leilehua Mules team. We have a defensive battle, 24-17. Spartans on top. So it's the 40th anniversary of Chaminade's major upset, perhaps the biggest upset in college basketball history, where Chaminade Silver Swords out of Hawaii took down the #1 ranked Virginia Cavaliers with Ralph Sampson. Speak to that a little bit about that, and now we have Iolani going up against the #1 team in the nation on the high school rankings in Montverde tonight.
Yeah, I think we've seen not quite the Chaminade type upset yet, but it's come very, very close.
Yep.
Coming to mind in 2007, I believe, or I'm sorry, 2002, when Derek Lowe was 2001, I'm sorry, Derek Lowe was a sophomore.
Yes.
Montrose Christian came in here, ranked 7th in the nation.
Yes.
Iolani took them to overtime. Actually, at the end of regulation, they had 2 free throws with a chance to win it. It went to overtime, and then Taishi Ito, I believe was his name, hit a 25-footer at the buzzer to beat Iolani 43-42. But again, Montrose was ranked 7th.
Right. I was at that game, and it was so close. You could almost grasp it, but then it got away with that terrific shot. And I remember after that shot was made, he dived on the floor and got, mobbed by his teammates. But just these are some of the fantastic, even though they came up short, these fantastic games. We saw the Warriors, Kamehameha Warriors, in a competitive game, almost upsetting Millennium. And Punahou, the Buff and Blue, in their second year of a close game against a mainland team. Last year was against Sierra Canyon, and this year coming up short against Milton.
Yeah, that game was tied at 52 with 4.5 minutes left. And, they were matching. It wasn't like, they made some miracle comeback. They were, from the get-go, matching Milton blow for blow from the first quarter. And every time Milton scored a basket, they answered. Every time Punahou scored a basket, Milton answered. It was a great game from start to finish.
Those Buff and Blue will play next as we see the three-point jumper come up short for Wilson on the design play. But the Mules will keep it with the foul underneath. Assessed to Daniela Wu. And Coach Kelly Grant will come right back with Yap, their leading scorer on the team.
Yap has been very impressive so far.
Inbounds play gets a good look, but no good. Back the other way, the Spartans. Yap on the kick ahead, around the horn, and Malari keeps it for himself and finishes it on the strong layup to put the lead up by 12 with 2 minutes remaining in this opening quarter. Half.
Great job avoiding the charge on that. The Leilehua defender was set up to take the charge, but Malari avoided it by angling his body just the right way to avoid contact.
Yeah, and Marumoto doing a similar evasion of the charge, that time with the Euro step to the left, gets the foul and earns the 2 shots at the line. No good on the first, and we'll see Coach Townsend go back with Willie Cooper, who's been effective scoring on the inside in this second quarter. Look to cut this lead under 10 with 1 minute and 45 seconds left in this first half. Marumoto on the drive and the elevation, and it's a 14-point game. Entry pass too strong for Muti to handle.
And I think that's where you're seeing the difference is Maryknoll is attacking the basket, but staying in control while they attack. Again, avoiding the charge, putting up a nice touch off the glass. So it's one thing to attack, but to attack with control makes a huge difference.
Ball pass around the horn results in a Yap 3 that's no good. Fight for the rebound will stay with the Spartans.
They're also doing a great job attacking the boards on the offensive rebounding side. Getting extra possessions.
Just under a minute left to play in this opening half. Malari with the drive. No good, back the other way. Solivao sends it ahead. And it's Wilson with the 3, and that's what the Mules needed.
Yeah, it's been a while. They started out with 2 outside shots, haven't had one since until just now.
Shot clock is turned off, 28 seconds to go in this half. Spartans will look to take the last shot here. And after one half of play, the Maryknoll Spartans lead the Leilehua Mules 31-20. We'll be back after this short message.
Heart pumping, muscles extending. Every body is a miracle. And though we share so much, everybody is unique. What's your passion? Hold on to it. We're here to help. With a personalized approach to a healthier you. Hawaii Pacific Health.
And we're back. We have our morning games of the Iolani Classic presented by the Twin Fin. We're at the half for the Maryknoll Spartans and the Leilehua Mules. Spartans lead the Mules 31-20. My name is Ian Young. I'm here with Wes Nakama. Wes, your thoughts on that first half of basketball?
Yeah, Maryknoll, like you said, always well coached by Kelly Grant, and you saw it in different phases. First of all, breaking the pressure that Leilehua tried to apply in the first period. They did it very well, attacking the basket, scoring on transition. And then even when Leilehua did get back on defense, Maryknoll did a great job executing their half-court offense, being patient, finding the open man. And then defensively, they applied heavy pressure on Leilehua. You could tell Kelly Grant knew where the points of attack were. With Militante, you mentioned, has had a quiet first half after, having a great game against Mount St. Joseph. He's been pretty quiet. They've kept him from the penetration dribble that he did so well Friday night, and they, like I said, doing a good job on Muti, keeping him away from the basket. So it's just an all-around great first half by Maryknoll.
These Maryknoll Spartans and these Mules will look to compete, and the goal of all of these teams here, local teams, is to be in the state championship when all is said and done. They're prepping for just that. Got a trivia question for you, Wes. There are 3 people associated with this tournament that have won Hawaii state titles as both a player and as a coach. Take a shot at who those 3 are.
Okay, well, one of them is sitting about 10 feet away from us to our left. That'll be Dean Shimamoto. Won Iolani's second state championship in 1994. Yep. Was a key player on that team. And then, of course, Kelly Grant won a state championship with Maryknoll in 1984. Had that famous picture of him taking down the net or holding the net above his head. Was on the front page of the sports section the next morning. And then Dan Hale last year took St. Louis to its first state championship since 1986. Dan actually won 3 state championships with Punahou. Yes. Back in 79, 80, 81. He was a starting center as a sophomore when they won and beat Moanalua. You mentioned Eddie Maruyama, the athletic director here. He was the point guard for Moanalua on that team. But Dan was the center for Punahou, won the next year against Leroy Lutu and the Morales twins, University High. And then his senior year, they beat arch rival Maryknoll with Francis Fletcher. That was always a great matchup between Dan Hale, Francis Fletcher. And so happy for him. Last year, he finally got over that hump as far as taking, he coached Punahou for a little while and taking St. Louis to their first state championship in 35 years.
Yes. Yes, huge accomplishment and a strong team last year, that Crusader team. I thought I could stump you. I'll try harder next time to come up with something to stump West Nakama, but that's exactly right. And interesting enough, Dan Hale coached Punahou to a championship.
I'm sorry, yeah, you're right,
Yeah,
he did.
2008. And
that
then,
was against Kamehameha-Hawaii.
yeah, and Kelly Grant took Kaimuki
You're right,
to a
that's
state
right,
title
yeah.
as a coach. So those titles with coaching different schools.
Correct. Kelly Grant did a tremendous job at Kaimuki, and that was a memorable team with Keone Reyes, who I just ran into last week for the first time in many, many years. The guy looks like he could still play. I mean, he was like the Charles Barkley of Hawaii basketball. He may be 6 feet, 6'1", but a solid, probably about 225, 230, and just knew how to use his body. It was really fun watching him. But they had him on the inside. They had Bo Albertson was a 6'4", 6'5" post as well, but he was like a small forward, like a Scottie Pippen type.
Yes.
They had Daniel Colon, their point guard. So that was a great team to watch over that couple of years. And then, like you mentioned, Dan Hale, that Punahou team in 2008, beating Kamehameha-Hawaii, which was the surprise finalist that year. That was a great team with Punahou. They had those great athletes, Manti Te'o, Dalton Hilliard.
Wow. Similar to this Punahou squad that we'll see upcoming next in terms of the multi-sport athletes.
Yes, Noah Makapula is their great receiver and great point guard. I mean, talk about local guards showing they have the quickness and speed to keep up with the mainland guards. Noah is one of them. I mean, he was just, and I don't know where he gets his energy from, because he was just as quick in the fourth quarter as it was in the first. And Ian, I think you played in this tournament. That's one thing people sitting up in the bleachers it's hard for them to appreciate, is when the game is that fast from the first quarter. And maybe you can keep up with it for a little while, but by the time the third and fourth quarter, you're sprinting up and down trying to keep up with these guys.
That's right.
You are exhausted. But credit to Punahou and Noah Makapulai. And, I mean, his tank looked full even in the late in the fourth quarter.
What I was impressed with Noah Makapulai was his passing ability. Mm-hmm. I mean, if you play with him, you have to have your hands ready, because he will fire into a tight window, and these zip passes will come with seemingly no angle available, but he has the kind of anticipation and the creativity. So we'll see more of that in the next game. 2 minutes left in this halftime as we look to start the second half of this matchup between the Maryknoll Spartans and the Leilehua Mules. So back in December of 1982, Coach Glenn Young takes his Iolani Raiders squad to Las Vegas and plays in a tournament where they get blown out of every game. And this is a team that he feels is a strong team. They will go on to win the Hawaii State title that year. Keith Spencer, Mike Fetters, Al Tafuno, Roland Ruff. And so he's looking for some way to improve not only his team, but Hawaii basketball as a whole.
Yeah, I never forget when Coach Young reflected on those years, some 25 years later. He said he looked at his assistant, Rodney Veary, and the comment he made was they looked at each other, and Coach Young said, "Hey, we're in the dark ages." His eyes really got exposed to what elite basketball looks like, and it was, you know, at that time a far separation from the elite basketball in Honolulu. Like you said, that team that Iolani had was loaded, and yet they went up there and could barely get the ball past half court. You know, just the speed of the game and the size and everything. So that's what sparked the idea for this tournament, and it's done what it had set out to do, which is expose the local teams to elite basketball in the mainland and learn from it. And I think they've more than done that over the last 40 years.
Yep, players, coaches, fans have all benefited from Coach Glenn Young's legacy. As we're about to start the second half of this opening matchup of the second round in pool play here at the Iolani Classic, presented by the Twin Fin. Spartans will start with possession, and Milari will start things off. Great opening play to free up Maryknoll, who knocks down the three to extend that lead to 14.
That's how they opened the game, with a well-executed half-court offense. Again, opening the second half same way, 5:30, but they never quit. They kept competing to the very final seconds. A lot of times it can get frustrating when you're going up against these mainland powers.
Ball swung around, and the three no good by Kapua. Wow, Yamamoto with a pretty stroke. Knocks the three down to pull the Spartans up by 19 with 1 minute, 39 seconds. And that's the Militante that we know and we saw on opening night.
Yeah, you can tell this kid has played a lot of basketball in his life.
Absorbs the contact, draws the and one, which he's unable to complete. There's that line screen, which is actually called for a foul. Coach Townsend said you got to communicate that screen. There's been a couple of those where the person guarding doesn't see it, and it's a tough.
It's all those fundamentals, you know, little things that Leilehua can just clean up. If they're able to clean that stuff up by season's end, you know, they're a different team because the pieces are there.
Yeah, dangerous team. As we see the ball tipped on Militante's shot. He gets it back, and he looks to create. Nice backdoor cut and find. And we have Cooper with the finish. Cooper, 6'2" senior, guard forward.
That was a great cut, like you said. When you see your teammate in trouble, that's what you need to do. Don't just stand and watch. Cut to the basket, and he'll find you.
And that's one way to combat the aggressive defense, right? And then, and that time, similar idea, similar look, but not executed. Just out the outstretched arms of Yap, and it'll go the other way. 15-point lead by the Spartans with 41 seconds left in the third quarter. Travel is called. It's been a tough go at it for Militante. I mean, Spartans have been keying on him and sending doubles, knowing that what he can do and that performance he had in the opening night. But still battling and still trying to create for this Leilehua Mule team.
Yeah, that one he tried to force it against a double team. He had Muti open on the roll, didn't even look at him. But like you said, there could be some frustration creeping in there.
But that Militante-Muti combination, that high pick and roll, I mean, if you can get that going, that'll be almost like Stockton and Malone. Back the other way. Militante draws the turnover. 2.8 seconds left. Militante dribbles. Half-court shot is short. And that'll do it. At the end of 3, Maryknoll leads 47-32. And we'll be back after this short message. And we're back. Day 3 of the Iolani Prep Classic, brought to you by the Twin Fin. Maryknoll Spartans leading the Leilehua Mules 47-32 in our opening game. Our next game will feature Moanalua na Menehune against the Punahou Buff and Blue. That's set to tip off at 10:30, followed by Radford and Kamehameha at noon. Baldwin will play St. Louis at 1:30 p.m. And then we get into our winners bracket. The matchups this evening, actually starting at 3:30, we have Neumann Goretti out of Philadelphia against Lake Oswego, Oregon. Mount Vernon Knights versus Mount St. Joseph's. Iolani versus Montverde, the #1 team in the nation. And Millennium Tigers against Milton out of Georgia. Following our 8 o'clock game, the last game of the night, we will have the Alakai slam dunk contest and 3-point shootout. You won't want to miss that. So come on down. Lots of basketball today here at Iolani School. Yap with the 3, extending the lead to 28.
Yap was a little quiet in the third period, but he's showing that no, he's still in this game for sure after dominating the first half.
Militante short on the 3. Yeah, Yap always a threat, right? and you like to see that from your scorer, you know, letting the game come to you.
Yeah, he got others involved. You know, he's doing it within the offense for sure.
Speaking of scores, the other night we saw Winters Grady play for Lake Oswego with 41 points on the night. And I know Carter and you were wondering whether that is the record score for this tournament over the years.
Yeah, I remember getting a text. I wasn't in the gym at that time, and getting a text saying, "What's the record? What's the record?" And the only thing that popped to my mind was Momo Jones. I can't remember what year that was, about maybe 10 or 12 years ago. He had 39 points.
Yes.
And that was, I think, a double overtime game, though.
Right.
So he did it in extra minutes, but
Yeah.
put on a show nonetheless.
Oh, yeah. I remember I was at that game, and he was unconscious. Yeah.
And he was not shy about it either. I mean, he was a guy that knew how to work the crowd.
Look to the crowd, I remember, turned to the crowd.
I remember someone sitting next to me in the crowd saying, "I've never seen a guy so cocky, but could back it up."
Oh, yes.
You know?
Yes. Momo Jones, one of the great names that we've seen over the years. But Winters Grady did it because he sat at the end. And he had 4 threes on the night, which is, very respectable. But he was doing it with fadeaway jumpers. He was aggressive and showed body control, and he had multiple and ones. So very interested to see Winters Grady go up against a very tough. I'm not sure their ranking, but they're in the top 20. Neumann Goretti.
They were like number 10 by Max Preps.
Yep. led by Rob Morris. As we see Militante hang and convert.
That's what he was looking for all night long, is the ability to slash and get to the basket.
And it's a 16-point ball game with 6 minutes left in this fourth quarter. Mules chipping away at that lead. Rebound secured by Cooper, back the other way, up the sideline. And there's that spot and move by Wilson, able to draw the foul.
Good help defense by Yap on that time. The first defender went for the pump fake and flew by. But Yap came in and was able to close out, but got just a little contact, enough to draw the foul.
Wilson's done a nice job of taking on the scoring load today, with the focus being on Militante. Knocks down both free throws to make it a 14-point game.
Here's Leilehua again with that full court pressure.
Spartans able to get it over the trap, back the other way. Good anticipation, calling the turnover, back the other way. Cooper with the scoop reverse, and it's a 12-point game. Still a lot of time to be played.
Leilehua is dangerous because all 5 guys can score.
Yes.
I mean,
and that run seems to bring up the defensive intensity by the Mules. I think Coach Grant feels that and calls the timeout.
Timeout, Maryknoll, 30-second timeout.
And that's a good timeout by Kelly Grant. He saw his team, again, responding to the pressure, but he didn't want them to get into a helter-skelter mode. Yep. He wanted them to still execute, despite, Leilehua applying the pressure both on the scoreboard and on defense. But he wants his team to stay composed. Don't let them dictate what you do.
Yep.
They're still ahead by 12. There's no need to panic. If they stay composed and run their sets like how they're supposed to, they can pull this out. But good timeout to calm them down and settle them in.
Spartans have also been effective in drawing up plays out of the timeout. Ball swung around to Normoto. That slice cut is read by Cooper. Intercepted. Militante with the spin move, but loses the ball. Back the other way. Yeah, probing. And pulls it out. Looking to work some clock. That's where that senior leadership comes in. Wow. Steal by the Mules, back the other way. And the silky smooth layup will be disallowed. Tua Levao called for the charge.
That's too bad because he did a great job stepping into the passing lane, made a nice steal, made it down court. Could have gone either way, tough call.
Nice job by the Spartan to step in and draw that charge. Cooper really everywhere on the court, gets that steal. The crossover. And carry call.
Wow. Tough call.
That is tough, just as the Mules starting to build some momentum. Ball goes back to the Spartans.
Luis Fuentes, he's been around a long, long time. He knows a carry when he sees one. He saw one there.
Yeah. Yep. On the distribution. Kubo with the finish. Senior to senior. It's a 14-point game. Ball swung around, kicked out. Martinson, look inside, and the block is called. Militante draws the foul. Milari that time unable to get the charge, and he'll be assessed his second personal foul. 15.
Unselfish play there by Leilehua, but maybe to a fault because they had the wide open jumper. He passed it up to get the ball to a teammate, and the whole Leilehua bench, including Coach Townsend, is like, shoot the ball.
Martinson is a good shooter, so they want him to shoot. Like you said, a little bit too unselfish there. Militante will inbounds.
There he is.
The attention given to Martinson. Muti unable to finish, but Militante able to recover. Lead is 12. 3 minutes 46 left in this game. Wu to Lolio, who's blocked by Cooper. Fantastic recovery and denial that time.
Cooper is all over the court right now.
Wu with the three, no good. On the rebound, look to spot up shooters, but Yap will pull it out, look to run some clock. Kubo to Yap. Yap too strong. Muti with the tip. Townsend hopes he would grab that ball.
Well, it was unfortunate. He and his teammate Martinson both went after it, not knowing the other was there.
Yeah.
And that's where the other teammates need to yell out, same, you know. But I like the effort. You'd rather have two guys go after the ball than none.
That's right. Yap off the double screen. No good on the three. Back the other way. Militante. 1-on-2
Beautiful.
floater. Yeah, the float game is true. And the game is 10. 2 minutes, 45 seconds remaining. Coach Kelly Grant calls timeout.
Again, this Leilehua team never giving up, never quitting. They compete, and that's the most important factor, especially in this tournament, because you're going to have separation. You're going to get down 10, 12, and that's what Punahou did a great job of Saturday night. Was it looked for a while there that Milton was going to pull away. They built up a 12-point lead late in the third quarter. I think it was 48-36. And in this tournament, a 12-point lead can quickly grow to 20 or 25.
Blink of an eye.
A couple turnovers, a couple dunks later, and all of a sudden you're down by 20. But Punahou stayed with it. They got down 12. They didn't panic. They stayed within their offense and eventually tied it with 4 minutes left, 4.5 minutes left. And that's what Leilehua is doing here too. I mean, they never quit. They kept with the pressure. Look for the open shots. Look for the open man. And here we are, 10 points down with just under 3 minutes left.
Players competing start to finish. Coaches coaching from start to finish. And the Mules have made it interesting. Coach Townsend sticking with Muti, 6'6" sophomore. Townsend, Cooper, Militante, and Atua Levao looking to get a stop here and get the ball back. And Cooper does just that. The recovery, and Militante with the strong finish, and the and one. Cuts the lead under 10. Chance to cut it to 7.
Like I said, Militante is a savvy basketball player. He had two guys on him underneath there. Still managed to get the shot off and the +1.
Unable to make the free throw, so the score is 8. 2 minutes and 25 and counting. Malare looking to control. And it's that balance to taking time off the clock, but not losing that edge. And still getting a good shot up. 8 seconds left on the shot clock. Inside feed, but Leo cannot convert. Back the other way. Militante kick out. Oh, and the layup is no good. A great look, but unable to convert.
I thought we were going to see Militante high off the glass like he did against Mount St. Joseph 3 or 4 times.
Overhead pass secured, look ahead. Tolevao had the opportunity. Great hands that time, Yap. Hustling back, knocking the ball out of bounds.
Yeah, I think that's where he needs to go strong and fast to the basket. He kind of laid up a little bit, and it cost him.
Mules working the ball around. Looking inside. Muti. The shot is short and recovered by Yap. Look to settle the Spartans down as we wind down with 1 minute left. The Spartan lead is 8, and the foul game comes into play.
Full timeout.
Mules have 2 fouls to give, but they want to give. They would get Spartans to the line.
Now, I wanted to mention, since Leilehua is playing in this 9 a.m. game, a story. You mentioned Keith Spencer from that 1983 state championship team Iolani had. He was the coach at Leilehua about 20 years ago, and they were in this tournament and ended up in this 9 a.m. game. And the story Keith said, it was the gym was empty. They came early. But the 2 guys behind the Leilehua bench was Eddie Hamada, who was the longtime athletic director, football coach here, a legend on this campus, and Masa Yonamine, who was the legend at Waipahu High School, athletic director, football, baseball coach. And they came out to support Keith, of course. But they came early before the warm-ups, and Coach Hamada grabbed the broom and was sweeping the court before the game.
Yes.
And nobody was in the gym, and Coach Spencer told one of his players, grab that broom, don't let that guy sweep the floor. And so he sent the kid over. The kid comes back, and Coach Hamada is still sweeping the floor. And he said, I thought I told you to go grab the broom. And he goes, oh, the janitor said he'll do it. And he said, that's not the janitor. That's Eddie Hamada, the legend of Iolani. But that's Coach Hamada
that
for
says
you.
a lot about Coach Eddie Hamada, and
yeah,
about the philosophy of one team and the selflessness as that we've learned from Coach Hamada. Great feed inside. Yap finds Leo.
again, we saw that in the first half. Same play.
And we'll see that a lot this year. And over the next few days, Maryknoll and Leilehua will continue in this tournament, and they'll have games tomorrow and Wednesday. Maryknoll will face Radford tomorrow at 10:30, and Baldwin on Wednesday at 10:30. Leilehua will face Kamehameha Schools at noon tomorrow, and Punahou at noon on Wednesday. As the clock counts down, 13 seconds left. The shot clock is off. The Spartans will hold. The final score will be the Maryknoll Spartans 54, Leilehua Mules 44 in a hard-fought game. And a great game for our spectators here to see Hawaii basketball. West Nakama, final thoughts?
Yeah, great game by both teams. Maryknoll showed why they're the favorite, I guess, number 1 ranked team, like you said. But Leilehua showing flashes of their enormous potential. And I think they're going to learn just from this game, just as they did from Friday night's loss to Mount St. Joseph.
It's been a pleasure. Wes, thank you so much. Thank you all for the great information, current information and history of both this classic and Hawaii basketball. I'm Ian Young. Thank you again to Wes Nakama on behalf of the students, faculty, staff, and administration of Iolani School. Thank you for joining us tonight, this morning on YouTube. And of course, we'd like to thank our hardworking Iolani live crew. Many people and many hours go into making this possible. Our cameramen. So for all of them, this is Ian Young saying good morning. And stay tuned. We'll have our next game tipping off at 10:30. But good afternoon, good morning, everybody, and aloha.